Welcome back to Shane Jensen Golf LV. I'm Shane Jensen, and today we're going to be talking about something that has vexed probably every golfer who has ever played golf: putting. And if you're anything like me, you have struggled at some point in your career with getting the ball into the hole. I've tried everything from long putters, short putters, cross-handed grips to get everything into the hole. And sometimes it seems like a struggle. But today, I'm going to share 3 techniques that I have used over the years in both my teaching and in my own game that will help you become more consistent getting the ball into the hole. First, your hands should be slightly ahead of the golf ball at address. Second, at address, the heel of the club should be slightly elevated or flat on the ground, with the hands in a more upright position. And finally, you need to swing the golf club with the shoulders. Try to eliminate the hand motions. Let's head out to the golf course and see what this looks like.
All right, so the first tip is that what we want to do is we want to make sure that our hands are slightly in front of the golf ball as we are getting ready to putt. This helps to maintain. When I was teaching golf, I always used to like to have my students have, after they hit the putt, a flat left wrist. And by having the hands in front of the golf ball, it helps to set that position a little bit better. So the more, if you can get your hands forward of the golf ball at the address position, that's going to be extremely helpful. You can see how it's fairly flat. The second position that I'd like you to look at is how your hands are at address. Now, golf putting is such a very subjective thing. You're going to feel different. But one of the things that I have found personally for me and for some of my students for doing this is trying to get the hands elevated a little bit higher. Sometimes people get their hands lower and it puts the toe up into the air, but I like to make sure that toe and even the heel is maybe slightly elevated. So rather than being my hand position right here, I'm now elevating my hand position so that I can it helps to create more of that, getting the hands out of it and more of that arm feel here. Okay, just feeling that arm motion. So getting the hands forward and then the hands elevated a little bit so they're more up rather than down, up. So getting the hands up, more elevated, and hands forward. Okay. So the third position we want to work on is we want to try to, as we're taking the club back, we want to try to eliminate our hands taking the club back. And so what we want to do is we want to try to fixate on our big shoulders here. So we want to try to take our club, feel as if we're taking the club back with our shoulders. That's going to eliminate any kind of face rotation as we take the club back and forward. So I'm focusing now basically on my shoulders, taking the club back. And that feels kind of counterintuitive. That feels kind of difficult to do that. But if you start to take the hands out of the stroke and you put more of the shoulders into the stroke, you're going to find your speed gets a lot more consistent, and then you're going to find that your accuracy becomes that much better. So if you work on those 3 things, there's so much other things you can do with that. But if you work on those 3 things, get those 3 positions, your chances of making more putts and having greater feel is going to be so much better.
Well, I hope you were able to take something from one of those tips. Hopefully, you can use one of them or maybe 2 of them, and it will help you to get the ball into the hole much more quickly. When I first started teaching in the 90s, golf was very different back then. We didn't have the technology and the precision that we have today. We relied more on feel. And realistically, putting is a very subjective art form. So you could go to 100 different teachers and you might get 100 different explanations about how to strike the putt. But get something that works for you, trial and error, go see a teacher, and see if you can start making more putts. If you like this video, please like, subscribe, and share. And I'll see you in the next video.
So today's video was shot out here at Durango Hills Golf Club. This is a course that's owned by the city of Las Vegas. It is located up near Sun City, Summerlin, so it's in the northwest part of town. I believe it's an executive course, so it's a shorter golf course. It would be fun for the whole family to come play. The greens look like they are in really nice condition, so might be something that I want to check out and see what's going on.